Do you see it? Do you see it? It's looking at me. My stash. It's looking at me. I think it's getting a little out of control. I think it's time to tame it and make some pretty things. So let's do that. Hey y'all, it's Chrissy from Teadoddles, and welcome to the 2025 Maker Stash Down. I hope y'all will join in and get ready to make lots of fun things and tame that stash. So first, let's say welcome new subscribers, welcome back subscribers. I'm happy to have you here with me in my maker shenanigans. I like to do the sewing things, the yarny things, and the DIY things. You'll see a little bit of all of that here on this channel. So if you like to make things, you might like it here. All right, y'all. I filmed a little bit of a funny intro. I don't know if I'm putting it in here or not, so maybe y'all will see that, maybe you won't. We'll see how it goes. I'm learning new things, all right? So I am sitting here with piles of things all around me to talk about. What is the Maker Stash Down, you might be asking? The Maker Stash Down is something I started actually in, I think, 2019. And I did it in 2020 and in 2021. And then I didn't do 2023. I tried to do it last year. Didn't make it all the way through, but that was because life was lifing really hard. And I did not have the brain space to keep up with all of that. So, but now I am through a lot of that stuff that I had to go through. And it's like my maker mojo got backed up and it's been released. And I am ready for a year of making. I have already done a very thorough clean out of my craft room. I'll be doing a craft room tour probably next Friday. So you can see some of the changes I made. Some of them have been very little changes, and there's still some things to come, but it has made a big difference in being able to function in my craft space. So each month, I will pick a theme this year. This month's theme is finish it. Okay, that's kind of the theme for the whole year because we're trying to use our maker stash. But you may start a new project. But in January, I have a lot of little things lingering that just need something done and it'll be finished. And that's what I want to get done this month, okay? And I do have some other things that I'll be doing along the year. I'm going to talk about all of that. But the Maker Stash Down is to help you actually use your Maker Stash. I know we all have Maker Stashes. I don't know many people who don't have stashes of things. I'm sure there's some people who only buy things and make it, and then they don't buy anything till they're ready to make again. I don't. Most makers, that's just the way their mind works. They go from one thing to another, and then they've got 2,000 whips. So I don't have quite that many, but anyway. So you can join in my Facebook group, Teadoddles Makers, which is a place for all makers, no matter what you make. Except if you're making chaos, I'd rather you stay out of there. We don't want that in there. And you can share your makes. You can get tips and tricks. If you're learning something new, you can talk to other makers. It's a great space to meet other makers and just talk and share your makes. And everybody loves to see them. And each month you can share your goals and you can share what you finished and before the end of the month. And then you'll be entered to win a $20 Amazon gift card. And you can buy more maker stuff, or you can use it for whatever you like. So that is what that's all about. So it's just a fun way to share and encourage each other to make. And like I said, this year I've done different things. Sometimes I'll have a challenge during the month. this year, last year, I think I was focusing on one certain thing each month until I got completely sidetracked. About April was the last one I did. Maybe I skipped them. I don't know. It was last year's a blur to a certain extent. Just put it that way. But this year I decided to do themes, or well, I guess you can call it a theme each month. This month's theme is finish it. So gather all your things you want to finish this month. That maybe you got to put a hem on this, or maybe you got to just put a little piece of paper on this and it'll be finished, or paint this little area and it'll be finished. Those kind of things. Those are the kind of things that I'm going to be focusing on this month. So you can focus on that too. You can focus on something else. You can really focus on whatever you want to, but that is my theme for the month. If you'd like to join in with that theme, you certainly can. You can share your goals, and maybe you have a different theme for the month, and that's fine. You can share that in the Facebook group as well. So what's important is that you share your goals and you share the progress on your goals at the end of the month. So pictures, those kind of things. You don't have to have finished. Maybe something came up and you didn't get to finish. That's okay. We're just about making goals and trying to make progress on those goals, whatever that progress is for you. So I hope y'all join in. The link down to join the group is down below always. And I'd be happy to see y'all in the group. All right. Now, got me a nice cup of coffee here and some water. So maybe y'all want some coffee. This is going to be a long one, but this is only going to be once a month. I'm going to talk about my goals and things that I'm doing for the whole year. So this one will be a little bit longer probably than the rest of them. And so, like, yeah, I'm going to divide it into segments. So we're going to start with sewing, and that'll even be divided in further segments. And there'll be a blog post linked down below. You can go check that out. And mostly that's going to just have pictures and links to everything I'm talking about. So it's sort of a reference if you see something you really like and you want to go check it out. Okay, so let me see my coffee cup. Isn't this pretty? It's like a log cabin quilt block. This was a gift from my son. I sent him a link to something, and that's what he got me for Mother's Day one year. It came with the coffee mug, a bundle of fabric, and a candle, which is sitting over there. I actually have my wax melts on today, not my candle, but I'm not too sure about burning candles in here sometimes because I tend to forget when I leave out of here, and I have left my wax melt thing on more than one occasion. So I'd rather not have a candle in here with all my flammable stuff going on, or anywhere really. When I'm in the other rooms, when I light it, I walk by it on a more regular basis because it's over in the corner, and I just, you know. All right. I'm also wearing my sewing machine earrings that my dad made me. Let's see, let me turn around. I don't know if I can see those. And I'm wearing this shirt that my parents gave me for Christmas. Let's see. It says, "Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the yarn is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, another row, another row, another row." I thought I'd wear that today for this video. Let me scooch forward. I'm trying to hold. I got a little video coming out that you'll see shortly. I've been doing little videos. That's what I'm on. Got the editing to do and some sewing to finish up for my shop update today. But I have this little kind of lumbar support thing that wraps around the top of this chair, but it's just got an elastic thing and it doesn't stay. So I got to find a way to get it to stay. So now we're going to get into sewing. And first I'm going to talk about quilt-alongs. Okay. No, I didn't start any quilt-alongs this year. I have so many that I have not finished. I almost did. I had one, even bought the pattern. It was actually a daily one. And it was from, let's see, Cake and L, and it's called the Orbit 365 if you want to check it out. It was English paper piecing, which I had intended to sew it and not do the English paper piecing, but it was a half square triangle or a half square, a half rectangle triangle each day, which wasn't too much. And ultimately, I was looking at it last night because I was going to start cutting some fabric for it. And I was like, you know what? I really don't need to do that this year. So I caught the pattern on sale. So if you're looking for something to do, I'll add a link down below for some things that may be of interest to you to join in. I decided ultimately to not do that this year. Okay. All right. So these quilt alongs I'm going to talk about, most of them were started circa 2017. Yes, 2017. And I've been trying to figure out what happened in 2017 that I just kind of fell off the wagon on a lot of this stuff. My son went to college in 2017. And I'm wondering if that was because it was hard on me. I just admit that. I mean, he's home now. He's living with me now. Uh, we're kind of like roommates. But I guess maybe that had an effect on my making. And I was like, I thoroughly went through everything, and I let go of some stuff, and I just made a list of what I want to get done. So let's take a look. And you may notice another theme as we look through this. So the first one on my list is this Seminole sampler. This was a quilt block of the month from Morning Glory Designs that I ordered, and you got the fabric each month. And I have this whole set. They're all in a nice little plastic wrap like this. And it had instructions. The only thing I may run into is that some of the instructions are PDF, and I realize I don't have all of the PDF patterns. I have some printed in my notebook, and I have some on my computer. I had a computer issues in between all of that, so hopefully I'll be able to get through it. But I actually already have January's done because it was the only one I ever did. And technically, this one came from 2016, not 2017. It's the oldest one that was in my stash. So this is the first row. These are rows. You do rows. It has these wonderful batiks in it. And then you do a little bonus block each month. That's the bonus block. And they all go together in the quilt once you're done. So these are not pre-cuts. Now I do have to cut them. I have one over here that's pre-cut. So that is one. Number one is to finish this up, Seminole Sampler. And I'm ahead already because I got January done. I just counted it as done. You know what I'm saying? That's going to make it easier on me. Now, this is going to seem like a lot of stuff when I show you. I know it's going to seem like a lot of stuff to a lot of people, but some of this stuff is just one little thing that maybe take me an afternoon to do or anything. And what you've got to remember, I'm in a stage in my life. I am single and my son is grown. I do have an old dog that I have to look after, but other than work and spending some time with my friends and family, of course, I'm not, and the evenings are mine. So it's a little bit easier for me to do this kind of stuff. And some of this stuff is going to be like an afternoon or a couple of hours, and I've got the whole month to complete certain things. So do not think that you have to do as much as I do for them. I just want to put that out there because I know that can be overwhelming for some people, and I don't want anybody thinking that that's the case. All right. And also, I'm going to have, if I didn't say before, I'm going to try to put chapters in here so you can find each section as you would like. And this is going to be a premiere. I forgot to say that in the beginning. So I can chat with people in the comments if they want to when we see this. Okay. So next on my list is the Wonderland quilt. And this is by little notes over here, y'all. Well, why didn't I write it down? All of the stuff will be in my blog because I did write all that down in my blog. I don't have it in my notes. This one's actually from 2020, so it's not quite as old. And I actually don't have, this is a paper piecing pattern, or FPP, foundation paper piecing, which means you get like a little pattern that looks like this, and you stitch it down on the lines on the paper. I can do a video of this if some people don't know what that is or want to see how it's done. I quite enjoy it. I've done some pretty complex ones, but this is my first block, which is the mushroom. So this is an Alice in Wonderland themed quilt. And I'm going to be using this, I think this is a fat 8, so I know I'm going to have other fabrics, but this is a, where is my tag? Anyway, this is a English Paper Co. or something like that fabric. I don't know. I've been in my stash for a while. She used some of this fabric in her quilt alone, and I actually have, like I said, this is a fat 8 bundle, so it's not even a fat quarter bundle. So I'll be using that, and I'm going to combine it with some blocks I did for the children's library blocks from a Pat Sloan quilt along I started, but I didn't have enough fabric to finish all the blocks. But this is also Alice in Wonderland themed fabric. And I'm not going to remember fabric line. This is an old fabric line. We'll just say that because I don't have that. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 6 of these blocks done. And now in this pattern, I noticed I was missing. There's one little segment that has paper piece roses. For some reason, I'm missing that pattern, that part of the pattern. I don't know why. I think the blocks were free when she did the quilt along. It's a paid pattern now. So I said, well, I'll fill in with these. And however, I'm going to make it go together because I can't finish this one. Well, I could in different, but then sometimes I do that. I take quilt alongs and I combine them. So that is what this box is for. I love these little shoe boxes from Walmart. That's what I keep everything in for quilt alongs. They fit on my shelf nicely. I put me a little sticker on the front so I know what's in it. So that is quilt along number 2. Now, this third one is going to be a more complex one. And I almost decided not to do it, but this was something I did pay for, also from 2017. And I have like everything cut out through June. So, because this is a applique quilt, it's not a pieced quilt. Well, you piece some stuff together, but it's got a lot of applique on it, which I will be stitching down with my sewing machine. I will not be doing by hand. That's not happening. I will do small stuff by hand, but not a whole quilt. I've done a whole quilt by hand, and I'm not doing that anymore. So this is called Down the Rabbit Hole. Are you sensing a theme for my year? My shop update will give you another clue to a theme if you haven't guessed it by now. Now, I can't really, I guess I'll pop a picture. Well, you'll see pictures on the blog. Because y'all, you see, this is the bin. And I have little things cut out like this. A little bit of paper piecing in here. There's applique in here. I have these fabulous fabrics I got from, why can I remember anybody's name? Is it on the edge of this? No, will recognize who this is if I show you the fabric. Probably it's not Tula Pink. It is. Dang it. Okay, I'm not gonna remember it. I'm not gonna sit here and try to remember it. I don't know why. I can't remember the name of the fabric. Usually, it's one of my favorites. I can remember it, but I cannot remember it. But I have see, I had this already done. It's cut out and it's labeled. So I'll be able to, it starts in the middle and you build out. So through June, I have everything cut. I just got to sew it down. Got to lay it down and sew it. So something like this would be something I'd do like on a Saturday or something when I'm not going anywhere else, because I have more time. So like little quilt blocks like that, I could do in the evening after work or something, and then it's done. And like I said, it seems like a lot, but I have the time. We'll just put it that way. All right. So that is that one. And this is by Sarah Felk, Down the Rabbit Hole. Like I said, all the links, you go to my blog post, which is linked down below, and it'll be in there. Okay. So that is quilt along number 3. There's a lot of quilt alongs in here, y'all. Now, I have 2 quilt alongs that I only need like one. I need 3 blocks. I got 3 more blocks to do. And the other one, I think I have 6, like I have half of it done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the 3 blocks for one first, and then I'll move on to the next one. Okay. That way I can get both of those done in the year. And actually that's only 9 months out of my 12 months. So it won't even take me the whole year to get it done. Because when I say get it done, I mean get the blocks done. I will not be quilting any of these quilt tops this year. I have a pile of quilt tops that need quilting already. My goal is just to get the quilt blocks done and the quilt top done, which is called a flimsy, in case you didn't know. That's what you call a quilt top. That's all the pieces, work has been done, but it hasn't been quilted yet. It's called a flimsy. All right. So the one I'm going to start on first is the Aurifil. It was called the Designer of the Month. So the DOM, which that's a little weird, but anyway. And it was kind of a color themed one. They had a different kind of colors you went through every month. And I've done 9 of them, 9 of the 12. So, you'll see, let's see. They started with the blues, a little kitty cat. I do need to stitch around that kitty cat. That's not done. There's some things I do need to stitch around all these blocks, and that's fine. That was more purpley. These are just scraps. I was really using up scraps for this. The purple one. This one's really cool. It's got arrows for it. Let me do this. This one was, I know for a fact that I think this was a Mr. Domestic. He loves the weaving in his quilt pattern. So we went to red, and we got some pink going on. And then moved into some oranges. This one right here, I need to put something behind it because this is an open work. For the first time ever doing that. So I've got to put something behind these portions. I have something behind the other pieces already, but I got to put something behind that. And then this one, which is like a big sunflower. Okay. So on my list, I have my little bin of papers over here, y'all. Next, the next one in this series is, well, you can't see all of it, but it's got embroidery and English paper piecing, which I have done English paper piecing before. Like I said, small projects. I have a mini quilt hanging on my wall in there that has some English paper piecing on it. I have never done a whole quilt that was English paper piecing. I have hand quilted a whole quilt, a queen size quilt before, and it took forever. But I have done that. So my trouble with this is greens. I have some greens over here, but it's kind of a light green. I'm looking for the background fabric. Because in the picture, they have a white with like little green dots. And because you've got this embroidery and then it's surrounded by the scrappy English paper piecing, you want kind of low volume background is what you would say. And I haven't been able to find one in my stash, so that's something I'm still searching for. So that's why I don't have anything picked out yet for that one. But hopefully I will find it, figure it out soon. All right, get back in here. There we go. So, like I said, I'll finish the 3 blocks I have to do for this, 1 per month. This one's actually in a baggie in my little bin that I keep over there. And then I will move on to this one, which is the Milky Way sampler from Blossom Heart Quilts, which I have. This one's kind of weird. I don't know what happened with this one. I have like January through May and then July. I don't have June done, which I don't know what happened there. So either way, I have 6 of the 12 blocks done. And this is like different star block patterns. So if you've been around for a while, you've seen these blocks before. But I was using some of these. I have some of these. That's the kind of thing that we got going on with those blocks. So, I'm a big fan of staring at the sky and stars and all that. So, this is also a foundation paper piecing pattern. So, I have some printed out. So, but that one, I won't actually start until I finish the 3 blocks there. So that was like getting 2 finished at one time, and then I got spare months left over where I can do other projects if I want to. Who says I'm not going to pick up projects along the way? It happens. All right, so one more quilt along. Oh, this is going to be really long. I'm already at 26 minutes, and we're just making it through the quilt, but this is a long one. It's okay. All right. So the next one that I'm working on is another cotton cuts kit. I have done 2 cotton cuts quilt tops, and I highly recommend it, especially for beginning quilters. All your pieces are cut for you. They give you directions. They even tell you which way to iron your seams, because it does make a difference when you're piecing blocks. So I highly recommend, if you've never tried cotton cuts, I highly recommend it. They have other clubs that I have yet to try, but I'm not doing any clubs this year. So maybe next year I'll get to try some of those. But I've got 2 quilt tops done from them already, and so I highly recommend them. So this is the Gnome of the Block, Gnome of the Month Club, and I only have what do I have? January through April. I stopped it at April for some reason, and this was actually from 2023. So I'll only be doing this till April. So these are already pre-cut, which is fabulous. I just have to sew it together. And so this is January's gnomes. I did get the girl and the boy gnome. I didn't get these little extras. I don't believe. I think I just got I think that was extra to get the little. I think it'll just be the 2 gnomes. I think this was extra more if you wanted to get those blocks. So that one will be easy peasy because I've done this before, and it's so nice having everything pre-cut. Even cut off the little dog ears already on the triangles, and it's fabulous. So if you're new to quilting and you really want to try it out, I highly suggest Cotton Cuts Club. And no, I don't. They're not a sponsor or nothing like that. It's really fabulous. So those are all my quilt alongs. So now I do have a couple of other quilty things to talk about before we move on. And this will be listed under my small sews, but I decided to put it here in the video. But I made all of these blocks from leftover fabrics from, you can just kind of see the other ones, from my dinosaur shop update. I really love these fabrics. And I was like, I sewed these squares together. I was like, well, that would make a good pillow cover. So I have these pillows that are decorative. but I only have fall ones for some reason. I don't know why. It's the only ones I have. So this is the perfect size to cover. I can put a cover over them and I can use them at different times of the year. And this will be a good summer cover for them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quilt the top of it. I'm going to make a little envelope back and make pillow covers. So that's quilty related, like I said. And then, y'all, one of the things I let go of, which I may do, I still have all the patterns, is the Splendid Sampler. I think they did two. They did it 2 years in a row. From Pat Sloan hosted it, I believe, and there was all kinds of quilting designers. There's like 100 blocks, I think, in it, and they're small. Well, I had some cut out and labeled and stuff, but I just didn't like the colors, is what it was. And they're kind of small blocks. So this is the size, because I kept the ones that I had already ironed on little things, and I'll use them for something. But because it had applique, it had embroidery, it had English, it had a little bit of everything. That's a little rabbit one. I'll finish him up. But this is the colors I was using, and it was because of the fabric I had at the time. I know that's what it was from. Red, white, and blue, basically, are the color theme. And I kept looking at it. I was like, that's what it is. So all the other little pieces I had cut out, I put them in a scrap bin. And like I said, I just kept the ones I had ironed on. This was a flower one. And you sew on the stems and stuff. I may do just a little wall hanging with these. So they all kind of go together. Birds, that was one of my favorite. And this little flower. So, and then I have a heart that has applique stuff on the back. So those will go. I kind of have a bag of random. I put them together for future quilt tops. Like sometimes I have random quilt blocks I do that's like, what am I going to do with this now? Because I just want to do it. And for example, this is an idea for random quilt blocks. This is a foundation paper piecing pattern. I'm fairly certain it's over on Fandom, Quilt Fandom. Is that what it's called? Fandom and Stitches. That's what it's called. They have all kinds of patterns for just about anything you could be a fan of. Like I have a bunch of Warehouse 13, which is a show I used to watch that I tested for someone. The Labyrinth, Star Wars, Disney, whatever. You can go on there and find free patterns for that. Now, the stipulation is that you cannot sell stuff you make from that, because that is a licensing issue when you're dealing with character stuff. So we'll put it like that. But this was a little block, a sewing machine block. So I have a whole set of blocks that are bigger for crafty things like this that I'm going to make a quilt out of. But this was one, I don't know why I did it, but anyway, I made it into this little pouch. You see my scissor fabric, and I put this little ribbon to hang it. It used to be hanging on a little rod and some teacup hooks to hold things. I just haven't found a place for this now because I've moved it. But that is an idea, and I believe I had a blog post about it. I can't remember. So that is the end of the quilty stuff. I think that's enough quilty stuff, right? So, all right. Now, I have a pile of things right here that is part of the reason I named this the Finish It month, because there's just little things I need to do and it'll be finished, right? Some of the stuff you've seen when I did Vlogmas. So we'll just go through it really quickly. So I know this is a style arc pattern. Can't remember the name of the pattern, but it'll be linked, like I said, in the blog post. It has this little crossover piece in the front. It hangs down a little lower. That's purposeful. It's supposed to be like that. And this is technically, whoa, that color blew out the lights, didn't it? Technically completely finished, but it's too big. And I talked about this in my Vlogmas. I picked the wrong size because I have a different size in style arc patterns for pants than I do for shirts. And for some reason, I picked that size in my shirt. It's like 2 sizes too big, which occasionally when I go to the store, especially if I go to a place like Marshall's or TJ Maxx or whatever, I will look in the section of shirts that are bigger because I know I can take it in if it's something I really love. Which sometimes doesn't happen. Sometimes I just wear it as a big baggy shirt for around the house. But anyway, I don't like the way this fits being this big, so I have to take it in. So technically it's not finished because I'm not going to wear it until I take it in. That's why it's in my almost finished pile. You'll see a list of almost finished on the blog. All right. I just haven't done it because I know this one's going to take me a minute because I got to put it on and pin it and figure it out, and then it'll be done. The other thing on my almost finished list are these leggings, which, y'all, these are the, I don't know, they always have a name. They're flared leggings. They're from Seamwork. So I've got to do the top part, which I haven't done yet because I know I got to make adjustments to this pattern. Love the pockets, inset pockets on this. This is a 4-piece legging, if you've ever done anything like that. The flares, y'all, this is the flare on these. It's straight up ridiculous. I intend to be walking and exercising in these pants. And I walked just from trying them on from room to room, and it's like wearing curtains around your legs. I gotta take some of that off. That's too much flare for me. But anywho, these pants were so long. I've already taken 2 inches out of them. They're still coming up to under my boobs. So I've got to make some adjustments to this. But once I get the adjustments made, I can translate that to my pattern, and next time it'll be much easier because I have another pair of pants in here I made. We talked about the crotch line of, I love the crotch line of it, so I'll be translating that to these leggings, so that next time, because I probably will make these again after I make these adjustments, because I do like the way they came together. It's so long, so long. And the fabrics will be listed that I made these out of in the blog. I listed the fabrics. I didn't list where I got them from because you can't get them anymore. Most of my fabrics like this come from Fabric Mart. That's typically where they come from. All right. So the other thing I got to finish is all these shirts. These are exercise shirts. All variations of the blank slate tee, which is my favorite tee. I added some arms to it. I have this one, and I have a short sleeve one, and I have a purple one, and I just got to do the hems on the sleeves and the bottom, and I got to do the neckline. So it's not. I do that a lot. I get everything cut out, and I can sew together the seams I sew together, and then it's like I got to do the finishes. I got to do the finishes. So let's finish it. All right, now this one is something that I have finished, but I've never worn it. I would like to wear it, but I realize why I haven't worn it is because I need to. This is a cocoon wrap thing. I can't even find the darn. This thing is huge, but I made it with these stripy parts on the front and this big floral. This is really, I could wear it around the house, but I feel like I would wear it out like on a weekend little dinner or something. But when I finished the hem all around, I didn't double turn it. I just serged it and I zigzag stitched on it. Well, I just want to turn that over so you can't see it, because you can see that. You can see the inside of the fabric, which doesn't bother me as much as being able to see that edge. So that's what I got to do, just all around this front, because it goes all the way around like that. And I'll feel better about wearing this. So, and next is, well, this is not something I made, but I just got to fix it. This is a wrap. I really like it. It's got little lacy trims on it. I caught it on a doorknob because it's like attached up under here. It ripped one side apart, so I got to fix that. Highly annoying. I do things like that all the time. Now, these are a pair of leggings I made a long time ago. Um, I don't like the way the top is, but I also wear them around the house. It's this funky fabric that I like, which has faded badly. I had put this pocket on it, which has fallen off, and I never hemmed the bottoms. So I'm going to fix that. And the next is these pajama bottoms, which I still haven't worn. I do have a drawstring in them, and I did a little tutorial about putting a drawstring in knit on here. Again, I haven't finished the hem. I'm terrible about that, and I got to quit doing that. That's finish the hems, Christy. Even if it's something you're not going to wear outside the house, just finish it. I don't know what that is. Okay, now this is another one I made over Vlogmas. These are technically finished. These are like jogger, pajama type things. But I need a drawstring in here. Now I've cut these little holes in here. This rib knit I used should not have been used for banding. It is a very lightweight rayon knit, and I should not have done that, but it matched, and the color was pretty. So I haven't decided. I think I'm gonna have to put a piece of elastic and attach it to drawstring and put it in there and like stitch it down at some point. And I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. So that's all I got to do to finish that and finish up those buttonholes. And then these are my favorite make over December, which were these pants that fit so well. These are going to be work pants. I love the way these turned out. I did this fun fabric in my pocket, and I copied these pockets off of those pajama pants. And I did a video about that, which is supposed to be coming out next week. And again, the only thing I need to do is finish the hem on the bottom. That is why I said all these things, they really wouldn't take that long to finish. I just haven't done it. So that's my pile of finishes for my clothing, hems, and repairs. All right. Now let's move on to other things I want to sew this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, what do I have? I have 5 different patterns. And these, well, some of them actually I've already cut out the fabric on. Where is that other? I just realized I didn't grab one of these. There it is. 2 of these I've already cut the fabric out on and everything. Some I've got to do the whole pattern and everything. But that's my goal, is to get these sewed up this, or at least cut out and everything this month. All right. So first up is this Liliana boxy jacket from Seamwork. I'm making it out of this tweedy fabric, which is it has wool in it. It's a woolen nylon speckled tweed flannel suiting. All right. And so this pattern does not, it's a very simple pattern. It's just got binding around the edges, but it has no lining. So I have cut out fabric lining for the sleeves. Sorry if that made a noise when I bumped that. Because I know that when I put it on, if I want to wear it over long sleeves at all, that's going to be some friction I don't want to deal with. So I said, let me put some lining in the sleeves at least, and that should be fine. So I'm going to do a little tutorial about, making a lining piece is really easy. You just cut out the same pattern in your lining, but I want to show you how I'm going to turn up the sleeves. So I plan on doing a video over that when I do that one. So this one is already cut out. It just needs to be sewn up. So this one is also already cut out. This is a Butterick B5 826, and I'm making this one here. I believe I'm making that one here. Hold on. No. I'm making this one. D. I'm making the D without the pocket. I don't understand pockets on your shirt like that. It just irritates me. You just can't really use it. I don't know. I don't like the way they look. That's me. I just like the way the front of this is versus the button placket, which is on this version here. And it's got some pleating up there. So this is already cut out, and I'm making it out of this kind of funky material. This is a recycled viscose. So it feels a little bit thicker than a rayon. It has a similar feel to a rayon, but it feels thicker, if that makes sense. So we'll see how that goes. I've never sewn with that before. All right, so next up, now this is the top priority, and I really want to get this done because we do have some really cold weather coming up. January and February are our coldest months here in South Georgia. There are even whispers of possible snow next week. I'm like, of course, when I got to go back to school, but which is a rarity around here. Didn't even include snow in my temperature blanket, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, this is the Devon dress from Seamwork. Don't have a picture. You'll see a picture. I've shown the fabric on here. I thought I haven't made my little card for the fabric, but it is a Kelly green with a little, is it butterflies all over it and kind of other colors. I really loved it. It's a brushed knit. It'll be so cozy. And I can't wait to make this because I probably will never wear this out in public, but maybe I will. We'll see. But that one is one I definitely want to get done this month. That's why it's in the top up under the other two. And another one I really want to get done this month are these peppermint PJs because I need some new PJ pants, y'all. I realized I washed them and put them back in my drawer. I realized when I took off a pair of pajama pants the other day that they had a huge hole in the backside, and I was like, I walk around this house in these pajamas. Which my son would not notice. He just does not notice things like that. And I was like, how did I not feel the wind on my behind? I don't know, but yeah, I mean it's a good size rip, like right down that back seam. Like, how does that even happen? Because they're not as old as some of my pajama pants, which they really need to go. They got like you can almost see through them, like the whole pair of pajama pants. But anyway, I digress. I have two pairs that I want to make. I have this red that actually has deer and trees on it. And then I have one I got from Joann's that has owls and the moon on it. I think I showed it before. I don't have a card for it yet. These are all flannel, 100% cotton flannels. And this has pockets. Y'all, when I was going through my sewing labels, because I was like, I want some fun sewing labels. Why don't I have fun sewing labels? I found some that says it has pockets. And I will be putting those suckers in things if I remember. I love pockets in something. Anywho, let's move on. I have two more that I'd really like to get done. I'll hope to make some progress on. We'll see. One is this Fran knit top by Style Arc. And I'm going to make it in this fabulous rayon nylon polyester wide ribbed sweater knit in marshmallow. This is something I know that I'm going to have to put a layer under, and that's fine. No problem there. And then I have the Riker sweater from Petite Stitchery, or they call it a raglan sweatshirt type thing. I don't know. Mine won't be quite as fancy as hers. But I have this. This is actually a leopard print. And then this. And these are both French terry knits. With some rayon. I love rayon, y'all. It's just comfortable, and when it gets hot here, it's cooling, which it's not hot here right now, but anyway. So those are my makes for this month. Hopefully, we'll see. This is a little bit more, but I have a lot of fabric that you can't see stacked up under this table, which I'd already matched to patterns, and I got a little carried away. So we'll see how far I get, but I think that is all my clothing sewing. So the next little segment is going to be about small sews, which I've talked a little bit about already. So I probably won't put a transfer for this because it's very short and very small sews. Actually, those pillow covers are small sews that I have. So my first one is to make this angry snowman from Ann Wood Handmade. If you're not signed up for her newsletter, I suggest you do. She makes the cutest little hand sewn things, and she showed pictures of this, and it is so funny when it's sewn up because you do the arms like just little threads, and it looks like those cartoon arms that people put on animals sometimes. And I just think it'll be fun to put on my mantle shelf. So that is a small sew. And then I've already shown you this. I want to make these Yetis from Little Deer. I have embroidery patterns I'm doing from her too, and she does little felt patterns, and these are just the cutest. I already have my felt bagged up and picked, and my pattern is traced. So part of me being able to do some of this is preparing the month before by having a day or, cutting out things and getting it bagged up for the next month, if that makes sense. I'm going to make at least the wintry looking one. And then I plan on making this one too because he can go up on my spring mantle. I like to stick little things like that on my mantle. So I think he's fun. So that is a little sew. And then the last one is another, I don't have the whole picture, but this is a snowman in a mixing bowl thing. I've got my fabrics already and everything traced. This is from, I don't remember who it's from, but it'll be linked in my blog post. Quilt Doodle Designs, that's who it's from. I did the one with the dog in the truck, which I have quilted that one. I haven't put buttons or anything on it. What did I do with that? I'm here thinking, where is that? Because I don't remember seeing that when I cleaned up. Weird things. Anywho, those are my small sews. So now I'm going to do a little bit of a cleanup, which it'll be just a few seconds for y'all. Now we'll get into embroidery, and I got a couple of little things I finished. This I did show in my Vlogmas, but it was a Christmas tinies from Little Deer. And what I've decided to do, because she has a bunch of these little tinies, and I picked, I think there were 13, but one I didn't really want. It was just acorns. I don't want to make a lot of different acorns, but so I picked one for each month, and I'm going to work on those. I will have to purchase these patterns, but I've already purchased the one for this month, which is going to be mushrooms. I love mushrooms, y'all. I just love the way they look. I love learning about mushrooms. I do love to eat mushrooms, not like funky mushrooms, but yeah. Where is? Hold on. I don't remember which bag it is. I have tags on them. Look at the tag, Chris. I put tags on my whip bag so I would remember. All right, here we go. I've already got it traced. Little mushrooms. Yeah. And in the little pattern, she actually had them labeled as different kinds of mushrooms, which I wasn't even thinking about that when I got the pattern. Now, this is an example of why I needed to really clean this up and go through everything. I even went through all my patterns on my computer because I purchased this pattern, and when I was cleaning out patterns on my computer, guess what? I had already purchased this pattern. I already had this pattern. Now, yeah, here we go. Now I have 2 digital patterns of the same thing. Anywho, so I had picked out, I'm going to show you how I did. This is a bag I made. Now, this was a prototype bag. A lot of times I'll do prototype bags, and I keep them myself, and I know I got to change something the next time. So this has been hanging around for a long time. The first time I started putting zippers on some of my maker bags. But that little thing in there, you see, I got a book ring. I already picked out threads, and some of it is hand-dyed thread I got from Night Stalker. I think that's who it was. And I actually have my little bin of pre-wound DMC floss in there because I don't know exactly what colors I'm going to use as I go along. I may follow her guidelines, especially since it's for specific mushrooms, or I may look them up and do my own thing. So this little DMC box, I love this. I have a mini winder for these bobbins that came with this box. It's just like a little tiny one. It sits on a set. You can wind your thread because it, much like hand-dyed yarn, will get in a tangled mess if you don't do that. So, anywho. So that is my next one in that series for January, is the mushrooms. And the goal is just to get it done before the end of the month. I can say I'll do so many a day or something, but a lot of times stuff like that, I just have to pick it up when I'm in a mood. So I was going to show you. You see, I didn't even stitch the bottom of this bag closed because this is a prototype. I've had it for years and I still haven't stitched the bottom. So I was like, why did I leave the opening on the outside? And, you know, I was testing out some things. Anywho, so some other things I finished embroidery wise, these little things. These were just little, and I don't remember where I got them from. That's totally upside down, Christy. But do you see how stiff they are? I thought this was just muslin, but I stitched these on. It's like I like to do little things like this to practice my stitching and like I can do different stuff. But I use that dissolvable sulky. But I always pull off as much as I can before you wet it and you dissolve it. And I just laid it on the dryer to dry. And it is so stiff. And I'm like, why? I have ironed this. I don't know what's going on with this fabric. So I have decided that I will use these in some junk journaling, which you'll see in my DIY portion that I'm going to be doing. Because I'm not going to be sewing that into anything. So I don't know what happened to this. I have some other ones, little things like this, ready to stitch up. And I was just like, what is going on with this? Anywho, let's move on. So these are some things I'm working on embroidery wise. This one is really fun. I haven't done the one for today. All right, come out of there. What are you? Okay, you're stuck to the magnet. This is a temperature puzzle cross stitch. I got from Force Stitch. This is what it was called on Etsy. Like I said, all the links will be in the blog post. I'm going to recheck the blog post after I do this video. Anyway, everything's not going out till 7 this evening, so it is like right at 1 o'clock. So this is, I've already stitched up like all the dates and the months down the side. I've done the first 2 days, and y'all, I put a little, it doesn't show that in the pattern. I put little black stitches around the edges. If you have 2 colors that are the same, like you're not going to see the puzzle part anymore. There's one reason I got it, because I love puzzles. So I decided if I have 2 days, which there's always going to be days that are going to have the same temperature range for this area, I would put the little stitches so you can still see the puzzle pieces, because I want to see the puzzle pieces. So now today's is going to be, yeah, it'll be a little bit different color. So I haven't put all the colors down at the bottom. I started to put them, and then I was like, I'll just do them as I add a color. So I will have a slightly different color today. And this went all the way from 100 plus to 20 minus or whatever, but it doesn't get that cold. So I left off, I put 40 to 30 range, which rarely happens, but I put it on there I did not go from the 20 to 30 range or the 20 below because that's highs is never going to be. I'm going by the highs. We have had some lows occasionally in that area, but not highs. So, anywho, and you'll notice that I have this backwards in my frame because I've been watching videos from Cross Stitch Caterpillar, I think it is, and the guy on there was talking about how he picked up his hoop backwards one time and it was like there's certain things that were easier to do with it like this, like to hold. You got something to hold on to. So I'm trying that out just to see what I think about it. And then you can see I have my little hoop with all my threads. I take this off when I'm stitching, but this is just a good place to keep up with it. And I have my little hello worm needle minder. Now, next is this one, and this is a, there's not much to it. That's all I've got done yet. But this is a calendar series that was released by Snowflake Diaries, probably in 2017. I don't know when I collected these, but it has the month, and I have a little image in it. You can stitch each month. So I figured I'd do that each month. For January, there's a little fox in there, and it's pretty basic stitches. It's not anything too complicated. So I felt like I could get that done. Plus, I'll be using pretty thick stitches on this because this fabric that I decided to use is a 10 count. And I think the lowest she had her charts for was a 14 count. But I had this. This is the free stuff I got when I got the embroidery grab bag from Back Quarter. And so I decided to use it. I said, well, I just make sure I got enough stitches. It'll just be bigger. And I really like it. This has rayon in it. Like it has, why did I get so deep with my voice there? I don't know. It's just a nicer fabric. You know, Ada is so stiff. Is this Ada? I don't know. But anyway, that's my start to it. And I already had all the threads she listed because apparently I bought the threads back when I thought I was going to do it and didn't do it. I love these oval hoops. Some of these I got at that Crafty estate sale. So, all right. So the last one is one I've talked about before that I'll just do until I get finished. That is my shoe, my Christmas shoe. I do want to do all of these shoes. And I just realized that my needle minder matches the little house on the top up there, right up here. I didn't realize that until I took pictures. Isn't that funny? But I think I'll be able to do this better because I picked up some tips from that caterpillar cross stitch that were causing me some issues. So I'm hoping that it'll go a little quicker when I decide to work on this again. And plus, this is a smaller stitch thread count too. All right, now that is all of my embroidery stuff. All right, crochet with a little bit of knitting, just a smidge. I have a few little things that are finished that I did technically finish last month. I actually forgot to take pictures of some of this, so I mentioned it in the blog post, but I forgot to take the pictures. So I finished this, which is a little dish towel. All I had to do is put the button on, so I did. I actually put 2 buttons on. I stacked a plain white button and this cute little heart red button. So this is designed to fit over your stove handle or whatever. And I will use this, but I'm not going to use it till February because it was a February one. Now the little trivet thing, those pieces, I still haven't decided what to do with those yet. So that's just been kind of put to the side until I figure something out. But this was a free pattern from We Crochet and Knit Picks, but I couldn't find it on their site anymore. So, but fun little thing for February. Now these baskets were a request from a friend. I get people tagging me and stuff all the time, like, can you make this? Do you make stuff like this? You know, and crochet is something I have, for the most part, only done for myself or for friends and family when I wanted to, right? As gifts. Don't usually do it for commission or to sell. That's just been my rule, but it may be changing. We will see. But what I told her is, look, I'm going to send them to you. You test it out, see how you like it, give me some feedback and some pictures of it in use, and we'll call that an even trade. But these are cute little hanging baskets. They're meant to hang on a door, a knob. This is not really big for a doorknob. It's for cabinets in your kitchen or what have you. She wanted it for excess produce out of her garden. So I did put my little tag on it. I did make 2 of these, actually. For some reason my tag is way too high on the side, but that's okay. Pattern. I don't remember. It's a pattern I have in my stash, so I will link it down below because I'm pretty sure I didn't put that in my blog post. Although I may update my blog post after this so I can make sure to put everything in there. Yeah. So these are good. I have actually a planter that I'm going to make and send to her too. So I haven't done that yet, but that has to go out. And this was made with, I held together this nifty cotton splash from Cascade Yarns, which is the multicolored yarn you see in there, and this minty reline thread, which is a recycled cotton linen blend. Which actually, this was actually really nice to use. I've used the linen yarns before, and sometimes they can be just rough on your hands. This wasn't too bad. I do have some other colors in this, but that's what I did. I held those 2 together, and it made, because it was a bulky cotton yarn, and I have a bulky cotton yarn. So I held it together, and I really love the way it turned out. It's really cute. I'll probably be making me some of these because I have some ideas about what I could do with this. But there we go. Now, the other thing I finished, which this was a make-along I did between November and December, I think, where I was doing the Saturday stitch, which I'm not going to do anymore unless some people request it. I don't have plans to do that anymore, but I did a crocheted scarf you can make as you learn the stitches, and I did 2 so I could test stitches and then I could demonstrate stitches. So the other one was in purples and blues and sparkly, and I wound up giving that one to my bestie for Christmas. I had another scarf, which you'll see in a minute, that I was crocheting, and I was like, all I got to do is weave in the ends on this. Why don't I give her this? She would really like it, and she did really like it. I just forgot to put a tag on it. This one I actually grabbed one of my tags, which this just says handmade, since it's just for me. And so I did finish this because I had to finish everything and put the edges on. I love the way this one turned out. This was a roll with it. Not roll with it. It's a red heart cake that's sparkly. I can't remember, but it was cactus is the colorway, which is my favorite, and I wish I would bring it back because I love all the colors in here and how they go together. So yeah, that is technically a finish for me for December. All right, now let's move on to other things that I have to finish. Move this out of the way. This little thing right here, which this was in a book called Vintage Crochet that I have. It's a little purse. It's got little threads on it. It's been hanging out forever. I have made the whole thing. I need to sew it together. I actually sewed an insert for it. Don't know how this is going to work, if I'm going to like it. I turned it right side out so you could see the fabric. It's got ice cream cones on it. I just thought that was fun to go with it. So I just need to stitch the outside together. Well, I'll whip stitch it together with yarn. And then But see how the lining goes. I've never done that. I've never made a crochet bag and put lining in it. Have I? I feel like I haven't. I don't make too many crochet bags though. But yeah. Well, I did. I made another crochet bag, but it's the only crochet bags I've made are in cotton yarn. Which this is cotton. This is a sugar wheel cotton from Yarn Bee. But I would use it for like grocery or produce, like that kind of stuff, not for a general bag. But this is something that I would kind of like to be able to use otherwise or gift to someone. So I want to make sure, and it's a really soft, stretchy cotton, so I don't want anything to be able to get through there. All right, so I've got to do that. That's one of those finish it things, right? Because I'm running out of room up here. All right, so this is this right here, my one knitting project I have going, and I have not finished. And I know why I haven't finished it. I've made some adjustments, so I plan on finishing it this month so I can move on to another knitting project. And this is my Java wrap, which is a kit I got from Line Brand. Go. Hopefully y'all can't hear my stomach growling. And it's a combination of Line Brand cupcake and 24/7 cotton. I cannot stand 24/7 cotton. I know some people really love it. It is mercerized cotton. I've crocheted with it, I've knitted with it, and I don't like it. I didn't realize it when I ordered this kit that was in there. But I was like, okay, let me just try it. So, my face. Oh, this is one of those that starts on the long end and then it gets smaller as you go up. So this is how much I have done so far. And actually, right here, I was supposed to change back to, when I first started back on this, I was supposed to change back to the 24/7 cotton, which is this gray here. I said, you know what? Me trying to put it in, they're just such different yarns. I just said, I'm not going to put any more of that in there. I'm going to finish with this cupcake yarn, and that's what it's going to be. And that's what I decided. And that's made it a little bit easier to go, which is fine. I feel like the needles I picked are just, they're super slippery needles. I should have went with my bamboo set. I have a set of bamboo interchangeables as well. And that might have been a better experience because they're a little grippier. These are slippery, and because it has all these where you drop stitches and stuff to make that little thing, which I like. It's fun, but I have to really focus on keeping stuff together because I've dropped some stitches already, and I realized that a while ago and had to pick them back up. It's always fun when you do that knitting because if you don't find it, it's gonna fall out the whole thing. And knitting is one of those things. I have to finish the row before I put it down. I cannot stop in the middle of a row. Maybe some people do that, but I can't do it because I feel like everything's going to fall apart if I do that. With crochet, I can put a stitch marker in it, and there we go, right? I do try to finish a row before I do that, but sometimes you get interrupted. Getting interrupted while you're knitting is frustrating to me. Anywho, I want to make more knitting projects. I do love it, although I did have to relook up how to do the stitches because I had been so long since I did it. But I got it back up, and I put some more rows in it. Like this whole section I've been doing about 2 rows at a time. I have to put it down. But today I got frustrated because my yarn was all in a tangle. I had to get it untangled, and then I had dropped the stitches and had to fix that. I was just like, put it down. So, anywho, I'm going to finish this. So the good thing about this is it gets slightly smaller as I go along. Although I am on what row am I on? 120 is my next row out of over 300. So we will I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to pick something I like better and make sure I get the right needles going when I do it. So there we go. That's enough talk about that mess right there. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Now, while we're on the subject of knitting, I would love to learn to knit socks. But every time I look at a pattern, they talk about the DPNs, and I have some, but the thought of having so many needles going at one time seems very tedious and like it's going to frustrate me. Although I am focusing on one reason I've started more cross stitch and embroidery and the knitting is because I want to slow down and focus on what I'm doing better. I do a better job when I do that. I have a tendency to rush through things sometimes, and I'm trying not to do that this year. But so if anybody can recommend, I know I have circular needles for knitting socks, but I have yet to find a pattern that I've liked that I look at that doesn't say that I need to use the DPNs. If anybody can recommend a beginner knitting sock pattern, I would much appreciate it because I feel like that's something I'm going to sit down and just really study and look into and think about before I get into it. But I want to learn about it this year. That is on my list of things to learn about for knitting. So, but otherwise, my let's just pick this up. My goal is to make a pair of socks each month. So this month it'll be crochet because I really need to. This month, since I've got all this finish it stuff, I don't think I'm gonna have the brain focus to. Okay, don't sit up there. Just get back down here. Oh, that's not to focus on learning how to do that, if that makes sense. I've got a new semester coming up, and I know there's lots of things going on with that. So I feel like next month may be a better month to start trying to learn about that. But if y'all can recommend a beginner's knitted sock pattern, y'all, I've knit a whole sweater, but knitting on this stupid shawl, I don't know what it is about. Knitting in the round is not something I have tried yet. I have a hat pattern to try out too, so maybe that'll be coming up too. But anyway, I'd appreciate it if y'all recommend that, if y'all can, down below. All right, so one of my goals is each month to make a pair of socks. Right now it's going to be crocheted socks because that's what I can do. Y'all, I frogged a lot of things when I was going through my bags because I was like, why have I not finished this? Sometimes it was just the yarn I had picked or the pattern I didn't really like. My Maestral shawl that I was working on over December, I found a spot where the yarn had broken several places for some reason. I don't know what happened. It must have gotten caught on something. I just wound up frogging it because I liked that pattern. I didn't like the yarn I was using for it. Where I had put that little blue strip in there, I didn't like that. And then I found a break in the blue strip yarn too, so it must have gotten hung on something. So I had to frog and recake all of that. I frogged my Christmas socks I had started because it was getting so stiff feeling, and I think it's because I have crocheted socks before. I think it's because it had the stellina in it, and I think maybe that just needs to be added to the toe and heel, or something. It doesn't need to be a whole sock made out of that stuff because it was so stiff. And I was like, I don't think it's going to be comfortable on my foot. But anyway, so this is the color I'm picking for my first pair of socks, crocheted socks. I have a pattern picked out. It'll be linked on my blog post because I didn't write that down. But I believe it is Brianna K Designs, and it is a pair of socks that has a little bit of color work at the top. Because I have that blue, I have some blue stellina, which I need to put in this bag. Then I'm going to make that little bit of color work out at the top. That'll go great with this baby blue. This is from Amber's Yarn Shop, which I don't think exists anymore because I couldn't find. Well, Hurley's hand dyed. I do know. I guess they're still around. I don't know, but that's who I got this from. This was past, present, and future yarn. Some Christmas thing. I don't know. Doesn't look very Christmassy to me, but I like it. And this will be my first pair of socks. Plus, like I said, I've crocheted socks in the past and I always have trouble with the fit of it. So Brianna K Designs has a whole thing about how to size it correctly for your foot. So I'm going to follow that, and hopefully I have better fitting socks next time. All right. So I'm all about the socks. The learning journey for me this year. Next is, what's this one? Oh, this is the Sia scarf, which is the one I started that I said I was making for my bestie. I ended up giving her that other scarf. So I have made progress on it, is all I can say. And I'm using this one skein of Shawl on the Ball fab I had in my stash, and I'm just going to crochet it till all this yarn is gone. It's going to be a super long scarf, but it's narrow. You can wrap it around, it'll be fabulous. So that is just something to finish. And this is a good pattern because it has a 2-row repeat. Easy to just zone out and work on it. Like, I'm going to be working on something like that when I chat with y'all this evening. So now let's pick out the next little bag. I put tags on everything. I want to do an amigurumi each month. This month I'm going to finish this little caterpillar who has not got much left to him. He's got some stuffing in him. He's looking a little. I made this with some yarn I got from Showreel Studios, which is also, I couldn't find a current link. The past one was from 2020, so I don't think they're around anymore either. But this was like salsa or something this yarn was. And I have a little bit of red. I have the tag right here, Christy. Nacho Man, Nacho Mama, and then Salsa, which is the little skein that was a company. But this will be from some other little bits of him. I'm finishing him this month. But now I have a rack over there, which you'll see a picture. I'll pop the picture in here. Where I took all those mini maker bags from clubs gone by, because I do usually keep one of them. And I just grabbed, I have all these Red Heart, the little rolls where you can make the amigurumis out of them. I have a ton of them, and I just grabbed one and stuck it in a bag, and then I hung them on the rack. I'll pick one each month to complete. So starting in February. So this month it'll be finishing this. After that, I'll be picking it, and we'll see what it is. I don't know. I just grabbed one and put it in there, and I'll just pick a bag, and we'll go from there. All right. Next is I want to do a hat each month. I do donate these hats. I have a bag in there of hats and scarves that I need to take to, I generally drop them off at the clothing bins where you can drop off clothing donations. And that's just what I do. Yes, they are hand crocheted and stuff, but I'm sure people can use them. And sometimes I make stuff just because I want to make it, and that's what I do with it. Anybody knows of any other donation places that may need it, let me know. I do like to donate locally when I can. All right, so the hat this month is going to be with this. I have a lot of single skeins of yarn that would be perfect for a hat. So the Sweet Divinity yarn bee I got on clearance, and Gray Clouds. I'm making the hat. I can get it out of this bag. It just does fit in this bag. Out of this one skein crochet book, which I've made a couple patterns out of. So it's just a basic hat. And so this one skein hat, it should work. And so that's what I'm doing. This is going to be something I do along the year. This is the Wonderland wrap. Again, kind of a theme for the year. That I started when I was still doing the cozy, the cozy mystery crochet along, or cozy murder mystery crochet along, which I thought about doing again this year, but I decided I didn't really want to, because I still haven't finished a blanket that I did a pattern for before that I need. That's on my later list. But anyway, this is a free pattern from Hobie. which will be linked in my blog post. I love it. This thing is huge though. I mean, this is how wide it is. And what I did is divide up the number of rows I have left. I think I need to do 8 rows a month to be able to complete it by the end of the year. So I have combined, get out of there. It's a wrap in sprinkles and rainbow. Yeah, is that the color? Well, this is actually confetti. And y'all, I didn't realize until I took pictures of this. Do y'all see that right there? I was editing my pictures and I was like, warp? I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, it's a warp. So, anywho, that is one that'll be a continual, like I said, 8 rows is what I need to do a month to be able to get it completed. Next is I want to make more sweaters. I do plan on knitting some more sweaters, but I need to practice knitting some more before I knit another sweater. The sweater I knitted was my first sweater from Marley. Is it Marley? Marley B. Marley? You know who I'm talking about. Probably know who I'm talking about. It took me a long time to knit that sweater, which, it will. It takes a long time to crochet a sweater, really, depending on the yarn you use. Well, I use thick yarn, it doesn't take that long. But I'm using sock yarn to knit this sweater, which will be my first sock yarn knit crocheted sweater. Not knitted, crocheted, sorry. This is, and this will be something I work on, and when I get done, I get done. I'm not putting pressure on me about this. This is called the Luxe Pullover. And this is crocheted sideways instead of around. And this pattern is from the We Crochet magazine number 9. I did link in my blog post because they have them on sale clearance, what they have left. So this is like a little book, y'all. I love this. I wish I would bring it back. They did it like, was it? I don't know. There were 10 of them. I think I'm missing one out of my set, but yeah, I'll need to bring this back. I love it. I actually think their website is called just crochet.com now instead of We Crochet. But I'm using Southern Skeins yarn, and originally I had caked up this particular yarns. I hope y'all can see that. Let's take it out of the bag. This is called Georgia Clay. This is more reddish than it's picking up in there. And this is called Sonoran Sky. You see that reddish color there? That's what color this actually is. I don't know why it's picking up like that. And then this one is called Antique Rose. Okay. I think those colors go really good together. Even though this one's not picking up right. It's that color. But it wasn't quite enough to make that sweater because this is a fairly large, kind of oversized type sweater. So I picked out what I'm going to do is the bottom half will be these darker colors and the top half will be these lighter colors. And I'm going to do a different number of stitches on each row to go up and down. So it kind of looks like it's bleeding into it or whatever. So these are the other ones. I haven't caked them up yet. And I picked, because I had 2, I think these are the same. Yeah, these are called, so I had 1 dark matter and I had 2 black light. I think these all go really good together, and I think it'll look really cool. I don't know if I can get all of this together. If I do those on the bottom and these on the top, What do y'all think? I think it's going to be great. We're going to make it. We're going to see what it looks like. All right. So that's my sweater make. I'm hoping to make more than one sweater this year, but like I said, we'll see how it goes. Got 2 more things to show y'all. This is, I'm just going to bring my card out. So I need to make some more of these. This was my prototype of my mega maker bag or something like that. I don't remember what I called it, but it's like a duffel bag type thing. Super useful for big projects. This is my 2025 forecast blanket. So over on linebrand.com, they have a crocheted and knitted temperature blanket, and you can have yarn color layouts for the temperature range or for the forecast. And since I was already doing the temperature cross stitch, I thought I would do a forecast one because I just like that idea better. So I don't have all of the ones they have. I changed some of my colors to what I've got on hand. Sunny, that color may change because I have a lot of random yellow yarn. So as long as it's yellow, I'm okay with it. I didn't put snow on here because, like I said, that is a rarity, but I certainly will add a spot if it happens to snow like they're predicting it may. And I didn't put calm on there because I thought, got a sunny day, a part Sunday. Because they have wind on here, which a windy day I could see putting on there because wind is like really windy. It makes the temperature feel different. But if it's a sunny day, I feel like that's a calm day anyway. So I didn't really understand that one. So I didn't put that one on there. But I put sunny, part sun, severe weather, overcast, drizzle, fog, rain, and wind. That's what I put on there. And I've already got, I don't have today's done, but I got this done. Because this pattern I'm using is the Granny Square Bias Temperature Blanket from TL Yarns. I think that's correct. Like I said, it'll be linked in my blog post. So it's worked on the bias. So this is the bottom corner. And you do the white in the center of the square that's the beginning of the month. And you can join as you go. I've already weaved in my ends. So there we go. This is really simple. It's 3 rounds. Because once you get to a full square, you'll be in there. But you can join it as you go, which is fabulous. And I really like it already. So there goes that. And the last thing I'm going to show you is I have a lot of Afghans in progress. So I'm just going to work on one until it's done. And then I'll move on to the next one. That's what I decided to do. Kind of like the sweater thing. You haven't seen this in a while. But this is the one. This is pretty large. I'm not going to be able to show you all of it. But this is the one I started because I had some velvet yarns. So I started up here with this. Like I had some balls of it. I got this whole bin of older yarns from my neighbor, and I've been trying to use it for different things. And so now I've moved. No, I started with this white because it's really fluffy, squishy. I think it was more of a blanket yarn. And then I had this gray, and now I'm on to this blue. I'm holding it together with this red heart peacock colored with love and this Bernat velvet blanket. I have more of this. This is the only color one I had of this color. The other colors are like purplies. And I was like, why do I have this? Well, I guess it was on sale. But I think, because originally I was going to do this whole sunset thing because I have some pink velvet yarn, but I don't think I'm going to need it. I think once I get through all of this, it'll be big enough. And so this one is just kind of one of those things. I'm just doing a half double crochet. All I'm doing, but I'm having to use one of those big plastic crochet hooks, and it just makes my hand hurt after a little bit. So I don't do too much of it at a time, but it's big enough now that it kind of covers me up as I work on it. So this will be the first one to get finished as soon as I can. Like I said, I have some projects that are good for sitting and watching a show and stuff. And then I have some that I really need to focus more on when I'm making it. So that is the end of my yarny goodness segment. Now we're going to move on to some DIY things, which will be really short. This is getting super long. Okay, let's finish this up. The DIY portion will be fairly short, and then we'll be done because this thing is, whew, it's long. But I knew it would be, especially for the first one of the year. All right, so one thing I've been wanting to do for the longest time, and I was like, let's just do this. We'll work on it a little bit every day, or that's my goal. It hasn't happened so far, but I want to do junk journaling. I've been watching a lot of those videos, and I have a lot of scrapbooking supplies that are not getting utilized. And I was like, let's just do this and see what we can do with all this stuff. So this is a journal thing I tried last year in lieu of a planner. Actually, I tried it 2 years in a row, I think. And there's only certain parts of it that I liked. The journaling part, as far as laying out what I needed to do, I didn't like that. So I'm transforming this into a junk journal. And my plan is to do a spread for each month. And then the next 2 pages will be more of journaling about the month, and I'll put some journaling in here, that kind of thing. So, and collect anything I pick up along the month. So I have done a spread. Look, it's been fell off. See, I didn't think that was gonna. Well, I thought it would. It's sticky. It's sticky on there. Me learning about junk journaling. I probably gonna have to put something on that because I made it to be a flap to open up. It's not gonna be good if it falls off. I got stuff falling out because I got it stuck in the front. But anyway, that gives you an idea of what I'm doing, And I may do some like little videos and then like compile it at the end of the month and show what I did. I don't know. Y'all tell me if I'd like to see that kind of thing. So there's that. And then I have this book, which is mostly blank. I had some stuff I had started using it for and I'm not using it for anymore. It has this lovely gilded edge. This is going to be my book journal because I plan on reading at least 2 books a month. And I want to journal about it. And I have been highlighting quotes in some of the books, which I didn't used to do. And I was like, this would be a great place to keep up with that sort of thing. And that's what that's for. I have other journals. I have a dream journal to keep beside my bed. So, but the books I'm reading, I'm currently reading Cold Tangerines, and I can't tell you who it's by because I forgot the name and all that stuff, but it's called Cold Tangerines. It is it's a true story, but it's not really a story. It's more of a log about different events in her life, and I've really enjoyed reading that. Actually, I had started reading it a while back, and then I picked it back up again and just continued on. And then I have a couple of books I have 2 books listed for this month specifically. That one was one I started last month. I just haven't finished it yet. It is, I don't remember the name of the books, y'all. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Anyway, that's my book journal, and I'll be doing that. And maybe I'll remember to share that with y'all if y'all really want to know. I know some of y'all read as well. Now, painting is something that I like to do more of. I like to paint furniture. I like to paint things. And I just want to do more of it this year. So this is I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see that. Can you kind of see? There we go. You know what I should have done? Okay. I was like, that's a blank of this. Here we go. This is a little painting I did at a paint party kind of thing. And I bought an extra blank canvas because we had a friend we had invited and she wasn't able to go. And I thought, well, I'll paint her one and give it to her. Did that ever happen? No, it didn't. So this is just hanging out in my space and I need to do it. So while I am going to paint it very similarly to this, I have to use the paint I have. I plan on doing some extra embellishments. Like I want to add maybe some beads or embroidery floss or that kind of thing. So I may film this as I do it and do a whole compilation of it, but this is just this is the pencil outline you get when you go there and then you paint it. So that is my painting for this month. All right. I think I'm done. Is that enough? I mean, it sounds like ridiculousness. I think this thing's going to be close to 2 hours long. Got editing to do, so we'll see if I can pare that down a bit. But I knew this first one would be really long. Even if you didn't stay along for the whole thing, like I said, I'm gonna have chapters down below. Maybe you're more interested in one thing than the other. Then you can just check out what you'd like. And like I said, this will be a premiere, so I'll be able to chat with people in the comments as it premieres at 7, which you'll be seeing this at 7. So I don't know why I'm telling you at the end of this because it'll be past 7 by this time. It'll be almost 9 o'clock. It is a Friday evening, so if you'd like to chat with me, I will be sitting and crocheting and chatting with y'all. And if you want to join the Maker Stash now, please, like I said, go down below for the link to my Facebook group and check out the blog for links to everything I've talked about here. Next month's shouldn't be quite so long because I really covered a lot of things that I want to do for the whole year, and I will just show you progress on it and what I actually accomplished in the month. Now, yeah, I think that's it for today. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend and remember to have a life lived creatively. And I will see y'all tomorrow because tomorrow is my shop update and I'm going to do a video about what I'm updating the shop with. So, yeah, maybe I'll be here for that. That is going to be about 7 o'clock tomorrow too. So I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.